Here today because an unspeakable tragedy has unfolded in Minnesota. My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa Hortman, and her husband Mark were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost the dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota.
I am incredibly heartbroken to be sharing the news of two Democratic lawmakers who were shot in their homes today, leaving two dead and one injured. Now, this is a very unsettling story. I understand if you do not want to watch. This is a trigger warning that you can click off of this video now. But we are going to cover all that has happened on the ground. And of course, the response from not only Governor Walz, the state police, but also Donald Trump. Now, we are going to get into the response that Trump gave and a reason why I am so upset with it. But first, I think it is important to get all the information with a statement from Governor Walz and the police officers on the ground. I want to take a look at those right here.
We're here today because an unspeakable tragedy has unfolded in Minnesota. My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa and her husband Mark, were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost the dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place. She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers also go out to State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, who were each shot multiple times. The Hoffmans are out of surgery at this time and receiving care, and we are cautiously optimistic they will survive this assassination attempt. This was an act of targeted political violence. Peaceful discourse is the foundation of our democracy. We don't settle our differences with violence or at gunpoint. In the state of Minnesota, and as recently as last week, in the most closely divided state legislature in the country, we sat down, we worked things out, we debated, we shook hands and compromised, and we served the state of Minnesota together. We proved that it's possible, even in these politically charged times, to find compromise and adhere to the principles of democracy and civil discourse. We must all, Minnesota and across the country, stand against all forms of political violence. At this precipice moment we're on, this tragic act here in Minnesota should serve as a reminder to all of us. The democracy and the debates in the halls of Congress, in state houses, in school boards, is a way to settle our differences peacefully and move society to a better place. We're collaborating with all local, state, and federal agencies on a full investigation. We're committed to keeping Minnesotans informed as the situation continues. I assure you that those responsible for this will be held accountable, and each and every one of us are committed to making sure that a tragedy like this never repeats itself in Minnesota or across this country.
A very powerful statement from Governor Walz there, and also a very pertinent piece of information that I've seen a lot of people looking for online currently. That these do appear to be, and at least have been termed, politically motivated shootings with a manifesto by the shooter, as was stated, detailing other lawmakers. It is so scary and so disappointing, doesn't even begin to cover how common it is that we now see political violence not only carried out, but encouraged in our politics. And it was the reason why the statement that Donald Trump made fell so short. Especially in the context of what he has said recently. We're going to look at the statement, and then I just have some thoughts Trump wrote on Truth Social. I have been briefed on the terrible shooting that took place in Minnesota, which appears to be a targeted attack against state lawmakers. Our Attorney General Pam Bandy and the FBI are investigating the situation, and they will be prosecuting anyone involved to the fullest extent of the law. Such horrific violence will not be tolerated in the United States of America. God bless the great people of Minnesota, a truly great place. Now, sure, that is a condemnation. That's a condemnation from Trump, spoke out against it, bare minimum. So sure, that's a condemnation from Trump, spoke out against it. I'm not going to applaud him for doing the bare minimum as president. But this idea that violence or hatred or anger, political othering will not be tolerated under his administration is not something that's acceptable in America, runs so counter to the ethos presented by Donald Trump. The idea behind his political movement is fundamentally to strip the humanity away from anyone who he views as his opponent. If you are an immigrant, if you are a Democrat, if you are someone who wants to do your job correctly in the federal government, show up to work every single day, serve your community, to serve veterans, to serve our national parks. Donald Trump looks at you as subhuman, and he talks at you like you are, and he instructs his supporters to treat you as such. Countless examples can be pointed to, but really, the one with all of this in mind that is stuck with me the most, and we talked about this yesterday, is a statement made by a Florida sheriff about how he would treat protesters who showed up peacefully on No King's Day today. I want to take a look at that. In a response from Governor Walz, ACLU of Florida, Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey's violent and provocative threat to kill protesters exercising their First Amendment rights is extremely un-American and unbecoming for an elected leader sworn to protect the public. We also just saw piece of breaking news. Governor Tim Walz tweeting out of an abundance of caution, "My Department of Public Safety is recommending that people do not attend any political rallies today in Minnesota until the suspect is apprehended." Now, of course, what the sheriff said and what is happening with Governor Walz, these are disconnected things, but I do think it is important to point out how lightly MAGA treats violence. We saw Ron DeSantis say just the other day he'd be happy to see protesters hit with cars. We have a sheriff, a law enforcement officer, saying that he will go after and be violent with protesters, peaceful protesters. I was driving around Orlando this morning. I saw in an incredible display hundreds of people out on street corners waving signs, very excited to build joyful community in their peaceful protests. Peaceful. And I thought, after smiling and being excited, I'm afraid for those people. They are on a very busy street corner, and their governor and a law enforcement official, and their state said that it's okay for people to run them down with their car, hundreds of people. So it's not that violence has no place in these politics of ours, it's constant. And people's lives are on the line, and they've been lost. So a Truth Social post 2 hours late doesn't really mean much to me, and doesn't mean much to the people in Minnesota. This idea that a little condemnation here excuses all that you've said and done is not true. It is a politics that seeks to other so much that they have all lost track of their humanity to cheer on a mother. A father being ripped from their child for the crime of coming to this country built by immigrants to work to make it better, not just for their family, but for all of us. This country wasn't built past tense by immigrants. It is sustained by hardworking people who love what are the real values of this nation more than Donald Trump could ever imagine. And he seeks to other them. And anyone who will stand up for them, it's not enough to just say it's wrong when every action you take purports that it's right. He's encouraged it countless times. This was just a couple days ago.
Celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but, you know, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force. Thank you very much.
The President of the United States says you will be met with heavy force. Law enforcement officials are saying they will violently assault you. The governor of Florida encouraging people to hit peaceful protesters with their cars, and you question why we are in the place that we are in. Now, I probably should have said this earlier, and I'm sorry that I didn't, because maybe I let my emotions get the best of me, but I hate that I am what some might call politicizing this moment, that I'm not giving this space or time. But do you want me to wait another day when another lawmaker is killed? Democrat, Republican, Independent, don't care. Do you want me to wait until then? What's the buffer zone on responding to what is a current crisis? And I hope y'all can understand why this is the tone and tenor that I'm taking with this video. I know this isn't always usually how we do things, but this is not a usual story. And I'm really just left speechless. I feel drained and shocked. If you're in Minnesota, I really hate to say this, considering how excited I've been and how joyful I felt seeing protesters, but I would stay safe. I promise we will get a post out as soon as this person is apprehended, because I want people to get out and share their voice. But I am worried and I am scared for you. I'm scared for us all, because this is an administration with an ethos fundamentally against accountability for attacks on our country, domestic ones. It began pardoning 1,500 cop beating insurrectionists, giving not just a full excuse, not for the behavior, but a justification for the future behavior. And I really don't know what to do with that besides be scared. Again, I know this isn't usually how we do videos here. This just seemed like a different story. I'm sorry. I hope if this was unsettling to you, then I hope you clicked off, I guess. If you're still here, you didn't, thank you all for giving me the platform to voice how I feel in this moment. I'm just scared and I'm sad. And I hope this did something to make you feel better, or felt cathartic to hear. I don't know if it was at least just my ramblings at this point, but I appreciate you letting me share. I'm going to try to keep you all as updated as possible, and we're going to be talking about No King's Day, because we still have to fight, and until next time, I'll see you soon.